What if the greatest weapon in any confrontation isn't strength, logic, or even eloquence, but stillness? Imagine two warriors facing each other on a sun-scorched field. One roars, muscles taut, sword trembling with rage. The other stands silent, breath even, eyes empty of fear or fury. Who wins? History's answer is unnervingly clear. The year was 1612. On the windswept cliffs of Ganryu Island, two samurai stood poised to kill. Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated wanderer, faced Sasaki Kojiro, the shogun's favored swordsman. Kojiro's reputation hinged on his legendary swallow cut, a lethal strike mimicking the dive of a bird. Musashi's? A lifetime of duels survived not by superior skill, but by mastering the storm within. As the sun rose, Kojiro paced, his blade trembling with anticipation. Musashi arrived late, deliberately. Accounts say he carved a wooden sword from an oar mid-journey, its length slightly exceeding Kojiro's. Why the delay? Why the improvisation? Because Musashi understood a truth modern neuroscience now validates. Emotion is the first casualty of conflict. Kojiro's anger boiled over. His breath quickened, his vision narrowed. He became his rage. Musashi, meanwhile, stood still, not detached, present, yet untethered from fear or fury. He'd practiced this for years, facing volatile tavern brawls, taunts from rivals, even the screams of dying men. His secret? Emotional distance. He described this as seeing clouds pass. When insulted, he didn't ask, "Why are they attacking me?" He asked, "What is happening to me right now?" Anger became a sensation, heat behind the eyes, tension in the chest, not identity. By labeling his emotions, "I notice anger rising," he activated the prefrontal cortex, calming the amygdala's primal scream. But Musashi didn't stop there. He'd studied Kojiro obsessively. The swordsman's arrogance was a pattern, one that would unravel under pressure. Arriving late, improvising a weapon, and forcing Kojiro to wait in the sun weren't accidents. They were engineered. This was anticipatory awareness, predicting not just what someone would do, but what they could do. When Kojiro lunged, his swallow cut faltered. Musashi's longer blade struck first. Musashi's secret wasn't superior technique. It was his ability to sever the umbilical cord of emotion that binds most humans to chaos. But why does this matter to you? You may never wield a sword, yet modern life is a battlefield of deadlines, screaming headlines, and the quiet war of misaligned expectations in relationships. The average person today faces more micro-confrontations in a day than Musashi encountered in a lifetime. And yet, we're catastrophically unprepared. Why? Because we mistake reactivity for survival. We believe anger sharpens us, that defensiveness protects us, that panic compels action. What if all of this is a lie? Musashi's teachings suggest a darker truth. Emotion is the first casualty of conflict, not the catalyst. Those who cling to their feelings become puppets. Those who master them become architects of reality. This isn't stoicism. It's something fiercer, older, a martial art for the mind. To understand how Musashi did this, to grasp the anatomy of his emotional alchemy, we must dissect 4 principles he forged in blood and silence. But first, ask yourself, when was the last time your emotions made you smaller? When did your own rage blind you to victory? Why do we surrender agency to the very feelings meant to serve us? The answers lie in the storm. Let's look at the first principle, emotional distance. The first betrayal. Stress hormones flood your bloodstream before you even know you're scared. Your heart drums a primal rhythm. Your muscles knot like rope. This is not metaphor, it's physiology. The amygdala hijacks your prefrontal cortex before your conscious mind can blink. This is the trap. Musashi understood that the first wound in any battle is self-inflicted. When someone provokes you, verbally, physically, existentially, you don't react to them. You react to the story you tell yourself about them. A raised voice becomes a threat. A paused reply becomes betrayal. The mind doesn't process reality, it processes meaning. But Musashi refused to let his opponent write the script. His first principle was radical. Become an observer of your own suffering. This isn't detachment. Detachment is cold, sterile, a monk's indifference. Emotional distance is hotter, sharper. It's the ability to stand inside your own hurricane and watch the rain fall. When insulted, Musashi didn't ask, "Why are they attacking me?" He asked, "What is happening to me right now?" Anger became a sensation, tightness in the chest, heat behind the eyes, not identity. Modern neuroscience validates this ancient trick. Labeling emotions, "I feel anger," activates the prefrontal cortex, which calms the amygdala. It's the neurological equivalent of hitting pause on a reel of film. But Musashi went further. He trained to widen the gap between stimulus and reaction until it became a canyon. How? By practicing confrontation like a musician practices scales. He'd seek out volatile situations, a drunken swordsman in a tavern, a rival's taunts, and force himself to feel without fusing. He called this seeing clouds pass. The storm moved through him, but did not root itself in him. Try this. Next time someone triggers you, say aloud, "I notice tension arising." Not, "I'm tense." Notice. This linguistic pivot shatters identification. You're no longer the flame. You're the match watcher. But detachment is only the first wound. The second is anticipatory awareness, the illusion of surprise. Every confrontation follows a script. Anger always narrows. Fear always accelerates. Pride always blinds. Humans are not improvisational artists in conflict. We're broken records. Musashi mastered the art of listening to the groove of human behavior. He called this foreknowledge, the ability to predict not just what someone will do, but what they can do. Here's the secret. Conflict is not chaotic. It's constrained. When threatened, your opponent's options collapse into primal patterns. Think of a cornered animal. Bite, flee, or freeze. Humans are no different. A manager who micromanages under stress will always tighten control when challenged. A partner who withdraws during arguments will vanish again, no matter the issue. Musashi studied these patterns obsessively. Before dueling Sasaki Kojiro, he dissected his opponent's temperament like a surgeon. Kojiro was famed for his swallow cut, a lethal strike mimicking a bird's dive. Musashi didn't just prepare to parry, he engineered the fight. The blade was longer than Kojiro's, exploiting a weakness the arrogant swordsman never saw coming. This wasn't luck, it was pattern recognition. You can cultivate this skill in 30 seconds. Before any difficult interaction, ask, what emotion dominates this person? What do they truly want beneath the surface? What are their 3 most likely reactions? This isn't manipulation, it's empathy weaponized. FBI hostage negotiators use similar tactics, profiling adversaries to predict emotional triggers. When you anticipate the script, you escape the trap of surprise. Stress hormones shift from a tsunami to a current, manageable, even useful. But prediction without control is just paranoia. Which brings us to the third blade in Musashi's arsenal. Strategic breathing, the physiology of surrender. Breath is the body's metronome. When you lose control of it, you lose control of everything. In 1615, Osaka Castle burned. The last great resistance to Tokugawa rule crumbled, and Musashi, now a battle-hardened strategist, stood among the victors. But his true victory wasn't in the clash of swords. It was in the quiet control he wielded amid chaos. Osaka's defenders fought with desperation, their panic contagious. Musashi noted that dying men gasp, victorious men breathe. Musashi, however, moved differently. Before leading his unit into the siege, he'd practiced a ritual, inhaling for 4 counts, holding briefly, exhaling for 6. This wasn't mysticism, it was biology. Your autonomic nervous system has 2 gears: sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, rest and digest. Fast, shallow breaths trigger the former. Slow, deep breaths activate the latter. Musashi trained his body to default to calm, even as arrows rained and walls shattered. But here's the twist. You can hack your nervous system through mechanics alone. Try it now. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold. Exhale through pursed lips for 6. Feel the quiet that follows? That's your prefrontal cortex reclaiming power. Musashi's genius was realizing that stillness must be practiced, not willed. He trained his breath during sword swings, during sleepless nights, during the scream of battle. Over time, his body learned calm breath equals calm mind. Modern studies confirm this. Soldiers trained in tactical breathing show reduced PTSD symptoms. CEOs use the same 4 to 6 method to steady nerves before mergers. It's the simplest, most subversive act in a world addicted to adrenaline. But breath alone cannot guide the hand. Without purpose, even calm becomes nihilism. Purposeful action, the blade's intent. Musashi's final lesson is the most unsettling. Victory belongs to the one who forgets to fight. While his opponents dueled for pride or survival, Musashi fought for something colder, clearer. He called it mokushiroku, the empty record, an action so pure it left no emotional residue. This isn't about goals, it's about alignment. Most people enter conflict with a checklist. Win this argument. Prove them wrong. Protect my ego. Musashi asked a deeper question. What outcome serves the larger whole? Before killing Kojiro, he studied the political ripples his death would create. He didn't duel to kill. He dueled to reshape the future. You can apply this by defining your true north before any confrontation. Ask, what outcome will matter 6 months from now? What action aligns with my deepest values, not my immediate pain? A manager might choose not to humiliate a failing employee. A spouse might bite their tongue during an argument to preserve trust. These aren't concessions. They're acts of war by other means. Purpose transforms reaction into strategy. It's why Musashi wrote in the Book of 5 Rings, "Do not regret what you do. Regret comes from acting against your own compass." The unity of the 4 principles. These 4 principles, distance, awareness, breath, purpose, are not steps. They're a single living system. Emotional distance creates space for awareness. Awareness directs the breath. Breath fuels purpose. Purpose erases the need for all 3. This is the ultimate paradox. To master conflict, you must first stop seeing it as conflict. Musashi's teachings converge on a truth Buddhism calls non-attachment, and Taoism names Wu Wei, effortless action. When you stop clinging to outcomes, to identities, to the need to be right, something strange happens. You become untouchable. Not because you're invincible, but because you've stopped playing the game. Modern psychology calls this psychological flexibility. It's the most reliable predictor of resilience. Yet we chase it backward, trying to manage stress while refusing to question the narratives that create it. Consider this. Most fights are not about what they're about. They're proxies. A debate about money masks fear of abandonment. An argument about chores reveals a hunger for respect. Musashi's calm wasn't a shield. It was a scalpel. He cut through illusion to the truth beneath. The modern battlefield. We live in an age of manufactured outrage. Algorithms feed us content that hacks our primal need for certainty and belonging. Politicians weaponize fear. Social media turns discourse into gladiatorial combat. In this environment, Musashi's lessons aren't just useful, they're revolutionary. The person who maintains calm in a screaming meeting doesn't win the room, they change the rules of the room. Their silence becomes louder than shouts. Their pauses fracture the rhythm of chaos. And yet, we resist. We tell ourselves, if I don't fight, I'll be crushed. But history's greatest survivors, Gandhi, Mandela, even Sun Tzu, knew the truth. The world bends to those who refuse to bend themselves. This isn't passivity. It's hyper-aware, hyper-disciplined agency, a samurai's focus. So, return to the questions posed earlier. When did your emotions make you smaller? Why do we surrender to feelings that destroy us? Now the answer: because we confuse being with experiencing. We think stillness erases passion. That detachment kills ambition. But Musashi's life proves otherwise. He was a conqueror, a philosopher, a painter. Calm didn't make him inert, it made him limitless. The next time you face a confrontation, remember, the storm is not you. The script is predictable. Your breath is a weapon. Victory lies beyond victory, and the final, unsettling truth: the only person you ever truly fight is yourself.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was insightful and educative. If you like this video, do well to click like, share, and subscribe for more insightful videos like this. See you later. Bye.